Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Around the Ropes for this August 5th, 2025. Guys, hope you guys everybody's having a great summer. Guys, I know we're getting to the end of summer because fall's right around the corner, guys. Again, guys, you can catch us. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. If you want to, you can catch the replay of us. We are the replay will be available basically right after the show. You can catch us on Apple. We're on Spotify. You name it, we're there. Obviously, you guys know on Saturdays from 12 to 2, we are on Odyssey through Backstage Radio, and also She Real Radio as well. So definitely give them a shout out as well. Guys, we are coming off an historical Summerslam. It is a major event just went down this past weekend over at MetLife Stadium, right over there in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And guys, like I said, we have a lot to get to. But before we do that, I just want to share the show out so people can watch and we can get some interactions here going. Because guys, like I said this every time for the last 4 years. The only way you guys can interact with us, it's very simple. If you're watching us right now on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, and you go to the comment section, that's basically how you can watch us. And that's how you can interact with us. I know eventually, don't know when, but I know eventually the goal is to have an actual phone number. So, or you can actually call in. So you have that. We have that to look forward to. But just bear with me 1 second because I am just sharing the show out. And also, guys, as of next week, we will have an actual intro again because this is, just like we saw on Sunday, we're not going to be here forever. I mean, I'll put it this way. There's a lot of positive and a lot of negative to get to. And before we even get to what happened, I want to go back to Friday night for a second with what we saw on SmackDown. And obviously, they were in Jersey, Prudential Center. And they were, we had the last segment where it was Cena and Cody in the ring. And they basically had Cena basically drop the heel gimmick and basically turn babyface. And I said it, who did I say it to? I said it to my dad when we were sitting here Sunday night watching the second night. I said, if they wanted a bigger reaction, they could have waited until we got to till we got to hold on, I'm just there. That's good for now. But if we would have gotten there till Sunday, and if we would have done that, I think that would have made life a hell of a lot better. Because I think you would have got a much bigger reaction because I didn't see SmackDown Live on Friday. I saw the promo right after, and it seemed kind of weird that all of a sudden, no, that's not WB calling me, telling me to stop talking about them. But like I said, it felt kind of weird because all of a sudden, let's go back. We've seen it on WWE Unreal the last couple of weeks. And this heel turn started back in February. I think we did a whole episode on it, on his heel turn. And at the time, we thought it was great. At the time, we thought it was something that we could have seen them going with till the end of the year. However, we all knew that wasn't how it was going to play out. Because Cena, the issue with John is this. He's good as a heel. Don't get me wrong, obviously the thugonomic stuff. People in my era know exactly what I'm talking about. But when you look at what his heel run now, we've had wrestlers on here who have all said, he's doing some great stuff. As a fan, I felt it was I was going almost nowhere, if that makes sense. Because when you saw with this heel turn and, he was trying to ruin pro wrestling. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But then the problem was he basically turned around, and I think once we didn't see Rock and once we didn't see Travis Scott, it was almost like he was going nowhere with it. I hate to say it, he was going nowhere with it. But I mean, we started seeing hints of it throughout the last couple months, and they finally pulled the trigger. Again, do I think it was the right way to do it? No, not necessarily. I think they could have waited till Sunday, and they could have done something where he turned babyface during his match with Cody, and we'll get into that match in a little bit. But I just thought it was very weird timing. And in essence, he almost dropped the whole the whole heel thing. And I know going into Sunday, a lot of wrestling fans saying on social media, they weren't sure what type of Cena we were going to get. Was this all a ruse? Was he going to come out and, still be the same person? It was a lot of it was going to be very interesting to say at least. And obviously, we got that answer on Sunday. And I guess because, like I said, we don't have a guest on tonight. It's just me and you guys. I figure, and I normally don't do it like this because normally I would just want to talk about the high points. But we have, like I said, there's a lot to go over. There's a lot to cover. Because it was the first 2 nights SummerSlam. They had over 100,000 people at MetLife Stadium. Let's start off with some of the highs. And the first one, let me go back to Saturday. The cash-in. Now, we knew Seth was doing this whole thing of, was he injured, was he not injured? Because we really had not seen seen Rollins until for some time. So everybody thought, okay, he was injured, this, that, another thing. And all of a sudden he comes out after Punk and Gunther had a hellacious match. I mean, the fact now that Gunther is basically out indefinitely means there was some damage done in that match. I thought it was a great moment. Punk finally gets the title, basically vindicated after he was gone from the company for over 10 years. And then all of a sudden we hear the burn it down. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, no, they're not going to pull the trigger. And lo and behold, they pulled the trigger. It was all a ruse. Rollins was never injured. Now, what I don't understand, though, because from what I read, according to reports, they were supposed to have Rollins versus LA Knight at SummerSlam. I don't know why they still didn't go through with that match, but again, it's neither here nor there. But you look at... So Rollins comes down, he grabs referee Jessica Carr, and 10 years after he had the Heist of the Century Part 1, when he ran in on Roman and Brock at the main event, WrestleMania 30, I think that was WrestleMania 31. Yeah, that was 31. They were in San Fran for that one. And he did the same thing. 10 years later, he did it to Punk. And this doesn't come as a shock to me, because I know there was a lot of talk that, maybe he would cash in on Cody and John, but that made no sense because he didn't have a great... Yeah, I mean, granted, he is 0-3 against Cody, and him and John obviously have had their battles, but it's a much different animosity than they did with Punk. And he cashed in, and Rollins is now your new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, where do I see this playing out now? That's what's going to be interesting, because I can see a scenario. I don't think they're going to have him drop the belt so quick. I know there's been a lot of people who are thinking that, they're going to have they're going to have Rollins drop the belt very fast. I don't think so. I don't think what I'm about to say is real news, like, breaking news there, but something is telling me we get to the Rumble in Saudi Arabia. But, Actually, I knew there was one thing I wanted to mention here. Good friend of the show, David, goes, "Hey, John, although my birthday is technically over now over here, I am on your time, and so I've got a while left." By the way, I was quite impressed with SummerSlam. Loved the cash-in. It was actually ecstatic when Lesnar's music hit. We're going to definitely get into Lesnar. But by the way, David, from all of us here at the Around the Ropes, I want to wish you a happy birthday, my friend. And also checking us out tonight is Billy. Billy, I hope you're having a wonderful night as well. But I want to ask you, obviously, this will be a thread throughout the entire night. What would you guys give a grade for SummerSlam? Like I said, what grade would you guys give SummerSlam? Like I said, I want to get, as far as the Rollins cash in, it was done perfectly. It was done perfectly. Everything. Next time I come in here. Jen, it's the extension it's the new extension on the house. It's my new whatchamacallit? My new part of the house. The mom and dad didn't tell you? Yeah, they spent millions of dollars. Apparently get me a piano back here. Apparently behind my head now is a fireplace with brick here. Also, Jen, you can tell this isn't my apartment. The house is clean. I'll just leave it at that. But, everybody who's watching right now, just let me know in the comment section, what grade would you give SummerSlam on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being horrible, 10 being great. Let me know. And obviously, what was your favorite moment? What moment got you with night 1 and night 2? But like I said, as far as Rollins goes, I thought it was great. It was done well. Storytelling was there, the whole 9 yards. Yes, Jenny, that's what I just said. And apparently, but yeah, that's what I just said, that it came out like that. Jenny, apparently you didn't hear what I said 2 minutes ago. But, I mean, like I said, overall, like I said, I thought it was great. It was definitely the heist of the century, part 2. And, like I said, as far as where they go from here, I don't know. Like I said before Jenny decided to start making comments about my new lovely apartment, I think we get Punk Rollins at Mania. And I think they use the Rumble as a way to get there. Because the scenario I see playing out, Rollins wins the Rumble. Not Rollins. Punk wins the Rumble. Faces Rollins at Mania. Now, I don't think the two of them are ever going to be buddy-buddy and see eye to eye on things. But I think with them, they're going to come to a point where they're going to have at least a little bit of respect for each other, I think. They may not, who knows? But again, that's the way I see it playing out. But I want to get to the other big news of the night, of the weekend. And then we'll get to the other stuff as well, because I think there was a lot of stuff that people were surprised that happened. And that's Brock Lesnar coming back. This is a guy who has not been in WWE now for over 2 years. His last appearance was actually at SummerSlam 2023 when Cody Rhodes defeated him. And it was definitely interesting to see. We got a comment coming here from David saying, Night 1 started off strong, settled down midway, then finished off strong. The first match for me with Roman and Jay was a 5-star match. Night 2 was mediocre, good, but not great, although the Cody Cena match was pretty good. Overall, I'd say SummerSlam was a 7 out of 10. Okay, I can definitely see that. It was I'll put it this way. Just got to go back to what David said here. I have to disagree about Night 2 being mediocre, because I thought Night 2 had a lot better matches. I know we're kind of jumping around here, but I thought Night 2 had a lot of better matches than Night 1, especially the TLC 6-way match, or as I call it, the car crash. They're still scraping up half the bodies up in New Jersey. I think that's definitely that was a great match. Let me actually do this, because I don't remember every match off the top of my head right now. So I'm going to go into my illustrious handbook here and look up the matches of what we saw SummerSlam Night 1 and Night 2. Here we go. All right, so I guess we'll start off with Roman and Jay took on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I mean, let's be honest. Did anybody see it happening? Let's just call a spade here. Did anybody see it happening of Roman and Jay not winning this? Let's be honest. The guys who were, part of the, who are part of Seth's thing, I think the funny thing is, though, I've heard a lot of people say this, I think Braun and Bronson are now going to be elevated now quite a bit because of working with Roman. Like I said, I thought that match was good. The one spot I liked in that match, David, I don't know if you remember this one, where Roman went to go dive up, to jump over the top rope, and yeah, that was a pretty good one. This one really surprised me. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are now your new women's tag team champions. Now, I know going into it, last week we were talking about it, and we all thought that Judgment Day was going to retain Raquel and Roxanne. But the fact that Charlotte and Alexa, that we're sitting here in 2025 on August 5th, saying that Charlotte and Alexa are now your tag team champions, how long before they drop it and one of them feuds with the other? Because let's be honest, and if you've been a fan of the show for a while, you know that one of my gripes has always been about the women's tag team titles. Now, what I mean by that is this. They, with the exception of the Iconics, and the exception of Sasha and Bayley, the first team that won it, can anybody remember a memorable run that anybody's ever had with those belts? Let me see something here. Hold on. Let's go through the history, shall we? And there's a reason why I bring this up. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, where the frick are we? Here we go. We're going through quickly the list of the champions here. Okay. We had the Boston Hug Connection, which I mentioned before, Sasha and Bayley. Okay, fine. The Iconics. Okay, fine. Anybody remember Alexa and Nikki? The Kabuki Warriors. Okay, I'll give them the Kabuki Warriors. Alexa and Nikki again. Bayley and Sasha again. Then we had the weird pairing of Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler. Then we had Asuka and Charlotte. I think that was coming out of, if I remember correctly, I think that's what led to their match at WrestleMania 34. Then we had Nia and Shayna again, Natalya and Tamina, Rhea and Nikki ASH, Carmella and Queen Zelina, Sasha and Naomi, Raquel and Aaliyah, Damage Control. So we never really saw a formidable team with that, with the exception of a few. Because the way that the way WWE has booked that women's tag team, it's, okay, we have two women, we don't know what to do with them, even though it's Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, two of the biggest names to come out of this women's division. And we're going to put them into a team. And with the hopes of eventually one will turn on the other, more than likely probably Charlotte, because, let's be honest, she's a Flair. But this one was interesting, because I say that because I did not see this one coming. I really thought in the back of my mind that the way this was going to play out is Judgment Day was going to win. We were going to see something with the Wyatt Six, because I know they've been hinting at Alexa and Wyatt Six for the longest time. Now we have this match. Sami Zayn defeated Karrion Kross. I know there's a lot of people who are thinking that this was Karrion Kross' swan song, that he's good. And I know reports have come out that he is officially, he's not done with WWE, but his contract's up. So I'm not sure yet if he's going to resign. However, I seriously hope that this does one of two things for Sami. And my hope is either this pushes him towards Seth at some point in his title reign, or we get a more cynical Sami. I just feel like this could have been a Monday Night Raw match. This could have been a simple Monday Night Raw match. I hate to say it. Let's hold off on this one for a second, because, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and hear from our good friends over at Fantastic League of Wrestling. When we come back on the other side, we'll talk about Tiffany, we'll talk about Jelly Roll, and we'll talk about Punk and Gunther. We'll finish up with night one. Right after this, you're listening or watching the Around the Ropes radio show. We'll be right back right after this. And we are back here live on the Around the Ropes radio show. Definitely want to give a thanks to Fantastic League of Wrestling. Definitely go check them out. They have a couple of shows coming up this month. And actually, in a little bit, we'll be getting some indie talk, because we do have quite a bit of independent stuff going on right now. But before we continue with the Summerslam stuff, because now we're about to get into the Tiffany Jade match, I want to just make a quick mention here about something. Many of you guys know, obviously, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you know that I am very big in looking at the numbers. And I know I drive some people nuts with it. And yesterday, and again, I don't post the numbers every time, because I'm like, nobody's gonna care. We go, up 1,000 or up 2,000. People aren't gonna care. So last night I looked at the numbers, because like I said, I always look at the numbers. And I had to take a double take, because I never thought that this show, this channel, this brand would ever eclipse 200,000 views. So I say this a lot, but I mean it. Guys, thank you. Thank you for helping me make this something. Thank you guys, people like David, people like my sister Jen, people like Billy. Thank you guys. You guys are the reason why I sit here and I drive everybody nuts for 2 hours every Tuesday night talking pro wrestling. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm not here without you guys. I'm not seeing these numbers. I mean, you guys also know I mentioned this at the top of the show. We're also on Odyssey every Saturday from 12 to 2. And we just got our numbers for the month of July. And the fact that we eclipsed 11,000 listens, and that's 11,000, I could be wrong on this, that's 11,000 live listens, which means if you break that down, I know I'm about to do some math here for a second, so I might need my toes and fingers for this one. You're looking at about 3,000 listeners every Saturday. That means there's 3,000 people across the United States and the world who sit there every Saturday, turn on Odyssey, turn on Backstage Radio Network to listen to the replay of the show. It's incredible. I am grateful beyond belief. I count my lucky blessings, count my lucky stars, because I know this can all be taken away. And for the people who have been a part of the show, for the people who watch the show, for the people who have helped me put together a segment or put something together, thank you. I want to keep this momentum going. I want to keep this drive going. And nothing's going to stop from getting to that top. But I want to get back into Summerslam talk here. Guys, again, definitely leave your comments below as far as, what we're talking about. Because, guys, like I said, we got a little bit more to talk about with night one before we get into what happened in night two. Next we have is Tiffany Stratton defended her title against Jade Cargill. Obviously, what got us to this match was Jade was your Queen of the Ring winner. And everybody thought that this would have been Jade's time. And obviously, I like the fact that they're pushing Tiffany the way they are, because it's not the same stuff of, oh, well, we got to push Charlotte, we got to push this. No. I don't know about her title reign right now. There's really nothing of it that really excites me. It's the same not monkey crap, but it's the same stuff with her every time she comes out. And I think with her, I'm going to just say this right now. I think with Tiffany, I think it's very simple. She has to be a heel. I hate to say it. Tiffany as a babyface is not connecting with me. Tiffany as a heel, I think, would do much better. And I don't think this buries Jade at all, because I still think eventually Jade does take that belt off of her. I mean, could we see something at Clash in Paris? Maybe. Could we see something at War Games? It's possible. I mean, a lot of things are going to be possible to see how it all unfolds as we head into the end of 2025, soon to be 2026. But hang on one second. Okay. So now I want to get to the tag match. And that's Drew and Logan defeated the team of Randy Orton and 4-time country-nominated singer Jelly Roll. First of all, I got to give Jelly Roll a shit ton of credit. That guy took bumps and took spots in that match that as a non-full-time wrestler, I give that man credit. He was... I mean, there was the one spot, if you guys remember, Jelly Roll's on the outside of the ring on the table, and Logan Paul does his usual dive off the top rope. And that bump he took looked pretty gnarly, to say the least. So I was very impressed with Jelly Roll in this match. I thought he outdid himself. I thought, yeah, David said it perfectly. Jelly Roll had some balls. More like Jelly Roll had some jelly rolls. But no, but in all seriousness, I got to give that guy credit. because I think now we're starting to see a trend here. Obviously, we start with Logan Paul, we start with Bad Bunny, and we start with Jelly Roll. There are some celebrities, and we just did a whole episode about this a couple weeks ago. We have seen some celebrities who have come into this crazy world and actually did something. And what I didn't understand is why have Drew and Logan win here? I mean, yes, let me backtrack on that for a second. Yes, I can see why, because then it kind of makes Drew and Logan seem like more pricks than they normally are. But what does this do for them? Seriously. I mean, yeah, Drew will probably end up more than likely going after Cody now for the title at Clash in Paris. And it's like every other time he's gone for the belt. He fails. I think the problem with Drew is coming out of WrestleMania 36 when he won the title. He won it in front of no fans. And we finally had that moment, I think at 37 or 30, I don't remember what. The magic wasn't there. Because again, and we'll get more into the Cody stuff a little bit later, but now I want to get to what we saw in the main event Saturday. We're trying to talk about this beforehand. CM Punk defeated Gunther. Since Gunther has been World Heavyweight Champion, it has been probably one of the most bizarre title reigns ever. He was champion. He then dropped the belt to Jey Uso, as we saw at WrestleMania 41 earlier this year, only to regain it 2 months later on a random episode of Monday Night Raw. I think the episode was when they were out in California, if I remember correctly. Then he had that weird thing with what's-his-face, everybody's favorite wrestler, Goldberg. And then he ended up being put into this thing with CM Punk, and Punk won. I mean, of Gunther's 3 title reigns so far since he's been in WWE, which was the NXT UK title and the IC title, I think this one has to be one of the most bizarre ones he's ever had. Because at least with the IC title, he made it mean something. The UK title, he made it mean something. This one, he almost, I hate to say it, I'm not saying he's a transitional champion, by all means, no. But I just feel like with him, it almost, I don't think they really gave him enough time with that title, if that makes sense. So that match, actually, how long was that match? I'm just looking here quickly. That match was, wow, that was a 30-minute match. And then, of course, like I said before, Seth's music hits. He does the thing with the crutches, comes out, starts to walk back, and then we find out it was a ruse. And it was really, I don't know if it took the air out of the building, but I saw on social media there was a lot of people who were pissed off that WWE would pull this. But I think the way WWE looks at it is they're making for that bigger moment for Punk when he takes the belt at Mania. Because I still think Punk's not going to retire from WWE without winning that title. So overall, I thought night one, not to steal a line from the great Ryan Peterson, but I think it's the best way to phrase it. Night one was the summer. Night 2 was the slam. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take another quick break here. And kind of, like I said, we're going to take a quick break here, get into a little bit of indie wrestling talk, and then we're going to get into night 2 of SummerSlam. Guys, this is Around the Ropes radio show. You are catching us live right now. We're on Facebook and YouTube, or you're catching the replay on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, or you're catching the replay on, if this is Saturday, over on Odyssey, Backstage Radio Network, and She Real Radio as well on iHeart. Guys, again, We'll be right back right after this with a quick word from our friends over at Fantastic League of Wrestling. Enjoy. And we are back here live on the Around the Ropes radio show. Guys, again, if you're watching us live, definitely leave your comments below, and we'll definitely read them. We got a couple more things I want to get to, and that is just a little house cleaning of what we have coming up this week, because a lot of stuff happened. We have a lot of stuff coming up, including obviously Thursday night. We will be back with another episode of Around the BC Dub World with myself and Anthony Cole, talking about Queen of the North 6, because, again, guys, a lot of shit went down this past Thursday night, actually. It was announced that September 21st, Bree Combination Wrestling returns to the Mecca for the Grand Rumble, a tribute to Mama Pan. You guys want to definitely get your tickets. It's going to be a great night of action. And I can confirm now, tomorrow at, I think, 9:30 is when we confirmed it, the governor himself, Mr. AJ Pan, joins me live for a first time ever, which is actually kind of weird because we've been working with pre-combination now for a number of years, so we have that coming up tomorrow. But guys, also coming up tomorrow, this one I am so freaking stoked for. Obviously, you guys know NWA, it's on live right now on Roku, I think channel 210, if you're watching it. But guys, you guys know NWA is coming to Long Island, Huntington, for NWA 77. And it's the big show. It's their anniversary show. Joining me tomorrow on a Wednesday afternoon edition is the one and only Joe Gailey to talk NWA, to talk about the anniversary show, and talk about also NWA being on Roku now. Because I think now we're starting to see a trend here. Obviously, we got WWE on Netflix. We got AEW right now. AEW really is the only company that isn't really on a streaming platform. Yes, let me rephrase what I just said. Yes, they're on HBO Max. But when you look at, obviously TNA right now has their own app. NWA is on Roku. AEW is the only one that's still on traditional TV. So it'll be very interesting to see, if that ever changes. We'll get into AEW later on. Obviously, we are a few weeks out from Forbidden Door as AEW does make their return across the pond to England for a great night of action. And we got Mark checking us out. What's going on, Mark? How you doing? And actually, guys, Mark, thank you, for being in here for a second. Guys, this Friday, Ace returns to Teaneck, New Jersey for Anarchy. And actually, I'm actually going to try and pull up the card quickly because it's going to be a great night of action in at Ace, and unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. I'm hoping at some point to get my butt back to an Ace show, because the biggest thing I miss of anything of Ace, other than the phenomenal whatchamacallit, um, action, is I miss the freaking empanadas. I'm just gonna say that. But just to kind of talk about what we have coming up this Friday at Ace, in tag team action, actually for the Ace tag team titles, Anthony Gangone and Darius Carter take on Sean Donovan and Danny Roth. That's basically going to be your main event, more than likely. For the Ace Fight for Flight Championship, Donovan takes on Bad Brad Benson, and I can't see who the hell that other guy is because the freaking screen is cut off. Looks like Joey Ace, Adam Kane, and Buddy Thomas will be in triple threat action. Cade Lothbrock and Azrael will be in action as well. Looks like we have Michael Manstretta and Roger Mendez as well. Mark, I would love to, but unfortunately, it's all the way over there. I can't really go grab it. But yeah, just like I said, guys, it'll just be a little bit different. But guys, again, if you're in the New Jersey area, definitely go check it out. It is at the address is 829 Windsor Road, Teaneck, New Jersey. Like I said, Ace has great stuff going on. And then coming up this Saturday, Victory Pro, which I want to get to them quickly now, is doing a show as well. If you give me 2 seconds here. Victory Pro is doing a show on this Saturday for the Gold Rush Rumble. If I can actually pull up the card, well, I don't really have the card here, but it just has, you're going to see such people in action as Bryce Donovan. No, Bryce Donovan won't be there, never mind. Journey Burke, Anthony Gangone, Rex Lawless, Security Inc., the Even Stevens, Tiffany Grady, who else? Alvin Alvarez actually makes his in-ring return in the same building where he got injured last year. Again, that goes on this Saturday. Get your tickets at Pro Game Sports. That's 41 Saxon Avenue, Bayshore, New York. Doors open at 6. Bell times at 7:30. Tickets are on sale. Victory Pro. For all information, call 631-357-1810. Obviously, we have that coming up. I know Titan Championship Wrestling has a show coming up towards the end of the summer. And like I said, also make another mention, if you're up in the Albany area, Dynasty has their next edition of their library event, which I'm going to pull up right now, just so that give you guys a little bit more information about it. Give me a second here. Try to find it. It's called Wrestling with Reading, and basically, they're back up in the Albany area at the Bach branch of Albany Public Library. Basically, it's free for all ages, and the one thing they make a mention of in the note is this is not a drop-off event. So you definitely want to go if you're in the area. I think it's a fun thing. Also, I do want to give a shout out also to our friends over at Motor Oil Coffee, who are now sponsoring Around the Ropes. And you want to basically go check them out. They have convenient locations in the Albany area. Go check them out. They have some really, really good coffee. I should know I kind of, always like their coffee. And, now that all the housekeeping is done, let's get back into the wrestling talk. Because, guys, we got night 2 of SummerSlam to get into. And good Lord almighty. What's going on, Bobby? Guys, Bobby's from the I-86. Definitely catch myself, Bobby, and Tom as we return in a couple of weeks to talk all things sports from Buffalo down here to Long Island. So you're not going to miss that again, guys. That comes back September 3rd, I think, is the official launch day from my understanding. So definitely stay tuned for that. But, guys, let's get into night two. Opening match for night two saw a triple threat women's action as Naomi took on Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I'm going to give the women credit here because I felt like the women throughout night one and night two really gave it their all. And really, they did well. Obviously, Naomi came out being played out by her father, so that was kind of a cool moment there. Overall, I thought this match was okay. My favorite match of the entire weekend was the tag team title match featuring the White Six, Andrade Ray Phoenix, DIY, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. Basically, I'll put it this way. This was a car crash if you ever have seen one. These guys, I think they're still scraping the freaking the bodies off of the field at MetLife Stadium. And by the way, WWE, if you're watching this, because I know you guys said this a couple times over the weekend, it's called MetLife Stadium, not the Meadowlands. It hasn't been called the Meadowlands since, I think, 08, I think, 09, somewhere in that ballpark. So we're going almost 20 years, guys. Get with the game. Just want to bring that up. This match was insane. I loved how everybody... I mean, first of all, I got to give Candice LeRae credit. She had the one spot where she went through the ladder and literally broke the ladder in half. And she's a nothing of a person. But this was a car crash if you ever have seen one. All six of these teams killed each other, literally. Now I have one of my first issues. And that's Becky Lynch taking on Lyra Valkyria. Now, what I don't understand, now obviously there was a stipulation with this match. If Lyra won, no, if Becky won, Lyra could not challenge for the IC title as long as Becky's holding it. And this match went 25 minutes and 5 seconds. For starters, I don't understand the point of Bayley being involved. I know Bayley has her issues with Becky going back to WrestleMania when Becky took Bayley out. Because if you guys remember, Bayley was supposed to be Lyra's tag team partner in that multi-woman tag match. And that's how we got the return of Becky. So I can see that being a thing. But I don't know now. Now I'm curious to see what they do on SmackDown this week. I don't know if, or not even SmackDown, on Raw next week, if we eventually, well, now obviously Lyra can't challenge for the belt. Now, do we see a scenario playing out where Bayley is the next one to challenge Becky, let's say at Clash in Paris, and the scenario is Lyra helps Bayley win with the hopes that she becomes Bayley's first opponent at, let's say, Perth, when they go to Australia for Crown Jewel in October? I don't know. That's why I'm very, like I said, this one I was kind of surprised in. I think he could have shaved also, this is one thing I do agree with what a lot of people are saying, I think he could have shaved at least 10 minutes off this match, easily. Because, now, you had Solo and Jacob in a steel cage. Now, I legit thought this was going to be Jacob getting the win, big stage, SummerSlam, and it wasn't. I don't know with Solo. at this point. And I'm going to be completely honest. Because Solo as champion, he doesn't do it for me. He does nothing for me for the champion. I think Jacob, not saying Jacob needs a belt, because let's be honest, Jacob is so over now with the crowd. He's going to become one of these wrestlers that he doesn't need a belt, but he'll still be incredibly over. But there was no harm in giving Jacob and having Solo drop the belt. And I love the one spot in this match where you see Jacob's tied to the top with a if you saw it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I just drew a blank for a second. Handcuffs. That was the right word. And also, he freaking rips the thing off like it was nothing. And overall, this was one of the weaker matches. I hate to say it. On night 2, that was one of the more weaker matches. But now I want to get to IC title match. Obviously, it's the 20th anniversary of the Eddie Guerrero-Rey Mysterio match from Summerslam, obviously 2005, when it was basically Dominic's custody was on the line. And it was one of the most memorable SummerSlam matches ever. And obviously going into it, we all saw Dominic appear at AAA because they announced, next week. I think it's next week, the 16th, the 16th or 15th, I don't remember. AAA Mania is happening, and Dominic Mysterio is in the Fatal 4-Way for the AAA Mega Championship. So a lot of people thought that because that he was going to be in that, they all thought that he was going to be dropping the IC belt to AHA. I was very surprised he didn't. But again, Dominic, as much as he's a bad guy, give it time, people. You got to give a little bit of time. They're going to turn him, I think. And then the main event. Match that went almost 40 minutes. Cody and Cena. These guys, now, none of these matches were technical 5-star classics. None of them. However, when you looked at this match, Cody and John, the story was there. Obviously, we saw over the years in pro wrestling, it's called passing the torch. Obviously, Andre did it for Hogan. Hogan did it for Rock. Rock did it for Cena. But now Cena did it for Cody. And the one thing I loved with that match is the amount of false finishes we got. It was insane how many false finishes we got in that match. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it told the story. Now, Cody won, which, okay, that's all well and good. But what I don't understand is this. They wrote Roman off of TV because he's filming the new Street Fighter movie. Cody's filming the exact same movie. Why would you have Cody win the title? Well, you could have easily dragged this thing out with Cena a little bit longer, I think. And overall, I mean, like I said this at the top of the show. I said this earlier. I said this, a little while ago. I think WWE missed the moment there by turning Cena babyface on the SmackDown in a random promo when they could have just done it at SummerSlam. But the big thing I want to get to, obviously, and actually, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to another break. And coming out of this break, we will talk about the return of the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, because, not a lot of people were thrilled with it. And I'm not going to sit here and say I thought it was the right move. No. But I'll explain my thoughts about it right after a word from our great friends over at Fantastic League of Wrestling. Guys, we'll be right back right after this. You are listening or watching the Around the Ropes Radio Show. We'll be right back right after this. And we are back here live on the Around the Ropes radio show. Guys, yes, this is my new apartment. As you can tell, it's very clean and everything. Nice granite, fireplace right there behind my head. Nice piano over there. I don't know how to play piano, so don't ask me how to play piano. There's a nice white couch right over there. All nice and clean. But yeah. Guys, let's get into what we saw to close out SummerSlam Night 2. And that is the return of Brock Lesnar. And first of all, I give WWE a lot of credit because they kept it so under wraps. We reported it on, WrestleFeed reported it, and we shared it on Around the Ropes Facebook page. They brought him in secretly. Nobody knew he was there. And I think the situation WWE is in, and again, I'm not trying to be a WWE shill, but I think people have to look at it this way. WWE is in a position right now where they have John finishing up his run. Obviously, we know in 4 months, John Cena will have officially retired from pro wrestling. And obviously, as we've seen in John's run this year, they're doing the greatest hits. Now, what do I mean by that? If you look at everybody John has faced, it's the Cody Rhodes. He has faced CM Punk. He has faced Randy Orton. They're going through his greatest hits. They're going through his greatest rivals. And you can't talk about Brock. You can't talk about Cena and not mention Brock. And there's been a lot, even before Sunday night, there was a lot of little hints, because one thing, obviously if you see WWE in real, you know this. And if you listen to, like shows like Busted Open, they always talk about this. Certain things are said on commentary for a reason. Certain things are hints that returns are going to happen. And I think people have to realize one thing. When you look at what Brock did, I'm not condoning his actions. Far from that. I'm not condoning what he did. I thought what he did was disgusting. But here's where it gets tricky though. Because if you look at if you talk about it from WWE legal team side of things, they cleared him. That's all they cared about. Is once legal turned around to Hunter and said, okay, Brock's cleared, he can come back, they figured it was going to be one of two things. That he wasn't involved in the case anymore, or they were going to be going arbitrary. They were going to be settling out sooner rather than later. And there's been a lot of talk that Brock wasn't aware of what Vince was doing. And we did a crap ton of episodes on all this when everything was coming out. Then all of a sudden, Janelle Grant's attorneys issue a public statement, basically saying that Brock was well aware of it. Now, I don't know if this is going to be something simple as, because I know the next time we'll probably see Brock. We might see him once on Raw or SmackDown, probably Raw more than likely. But the next time we see Brock in a ring, probably won't be until we get to Paris at the end of the month. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a scenario, because they already hasn't really said anything as far as if this is going to be, if Brock is going to be working past this, or it's going to be one of those things if he's back for a couple of weeks and that's it. You have to come to the realization, and I'm going to try to say this in a very mature way. Yes, like I said before, what happened with Janelle Grant, I'm not downgrading. I think it's disgusting. I read the court documents, and I thought every bit of it was disgusting. And we talked about it here on the show. Most of, I think, 2022 when it happened, or 2023 when it happened. We talked. I remember we had literally episode after episode where that was our topic. Was the Vince McMahon stuff with Janelle Grant? And now, as far as if Brock knowingly was a part of it, I don't know. It could have been something very simple as Vince really, didn't tell him. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that what WWE did was right. No. I just find it very ironic, though, that the night they bring him back, all of a sudden they cancel the post-scrum on night 2. I just find that very interesting. Interesting timing on that front. Now, the one thing, we were talking about in pro wrestling is never say never. And we've had guys who, there's always been the comment of, oh, this person will never come back. Hell, great example. Look at CM Punk. Wrestling fans sat here for years saying that Punk was never going to come back, and he did. Same thing was said about Ultimate Warrior. People said the same thing. Bruno, everybody was saying about the same thing. Eventually, people were going to come back. Now, again, I am not downgrading. I'm not downgrading what Janelle Grant went through, because, like I said, I think it's disgusting. And I hope to God they never bring Vince back, because from what I've heard, Vince is kind of a horn dog. But I think I don't think this was WWE's call, from my understanding, from the reports I read. This was Cena's call. That when Cena came back and signed everything last year before they announced his retirement, he said one of the guys he wants back in the ring for one last time is Brock Lesnar. So I don't know, I don't know. I seriously don't know. And like I said, I'm curious to see how this all plays out in the long run. But again, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out. But let me just check one quick thing here, because we touched on everything with SummerSlam. And like I said, overall, I thought it was a good show. Overall, like I said, I would give it, in all honesty, I'm trying to think of the best way. I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. Like I said, some of the bigger moments for me was the 6-way ladder match. Another big moment for me was interesting thing, David. Interesting you bring this up. He goes, I don't know if I just imagined this, but there were a couple of elements in the Cody Cena match that hinted at a possible heel turn, a near future heel turn for Cody. David, that's been talked about for a while now. That has been talked about for the longest time, about having Cody turn heel. Now, will it happen at some point this year? Who knows? Now my fear is, this was my fear when he won the title initially, coming out of WrestleMania 40. What type of Cody run are we going to get here now? Because I said this for a while. I felt like Cody's run as champion, I said this on the show a lot, was very much protecting Cody. Because they weren't going to put him in a position where he was going to lose that belt. And I feel like with Cody, when he won the title at WrestleMania 40, it was pretty much going to be that, and you go through all the, he had that run with AJ, he had the match with Dominic, and a few others. And the two that I think were the possible ones would have been John. Obviously, we saw John did defeat him at WrestleMania 41. And obviously, the other one was Kevin Owens. And according to the WWE Unreal thing, supposedly the plan was for Kevin to win that title at Rumble. So, I don't know. I just hope we get a different Cena coming out of this. A different Cody, sorry. As far as John, I mean, let's be honest. I know somebody posted a thing today saying how, saying his last 4 matches, saying that it's going to be obviously Brock at Clash in Paris, that he's going to go up against Dominic for the IC title, that'll be involved in War Games. That supposedly the rumor that I'm hearing is his last match in December is going to be against Gunther. Now, I don't know if that means Gunther's going to be back from surgery before then. I don't know. It's like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. But like I said, overall, I give SummerSlam an 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. It was much better than what we saw at WrestleMania. And overall, I thought it was pretty damn good. But we're going to shift gears here for 1 second because I definitely want to get into what we have coming up because we got AEW coming up. And AEW has Forbidden Door coming up as they return to Wembley Stadium. And I just want to go over the card quickly just to see if there's really anything. So far, we have here are the matches that are announced right now. It was announced Mercedes Moné will be in a four-way match for the AEW TBS title, where she faced one wrestler from AEW, one from CMLL, and one from Stardom. We also will have Timeless Toni Storm taking on Athena. Merc, supposedly Gunther had a nose injury coming out of it was reported going into SummerSlam that he had an issue that he was going to go, and then obviously we saw he got busted up badly. So I don't know. They haven't officially announced yet that he's injured, but he's definitely going to be out of action for a while. We got Timeless Toni Storm taking on Athena for the AEW Women's title. This is going to be Athena's Casino Gauntlet championship match. I don't know. With this one. I'll give my opinion on it in a second here. Then we got Kazuchika Okada taking on Swerve Strickland for the AEW Unified title. The Hurt Syndicate will be in action against a team that will be to TBD. And we're also going to get Hiroshi Tanahashi in that. So the one thing I will say with it looks like here they're going to get the winners of the AEW World Tag Team Eliminator Tournament, where it looks like as of now it's it looks like now FTR is in the finals, and it looks like next we got on the other side the Young Bucks, who defeated the Outrunners, are taking on the team of Brody King and Bandito, also called, and I'm not kidding you with this name, Brodito. And the winner of that takes on FTR for the finals. My guess is the finals will be either this week or next week. At least then we're probably getting FTR and Hurt Syndicate in London. This is on August 24th. Oh, not Wembley Stadium. Sorry, my bad. At the O2 Arena. They haven't announced anything for. No, they haven't announced anything yet for All In. But yeah, like I said, overall, you got that, and then I want to look quickly here before we take one last commercial, and I take care of that quickly. What do we have for the NWA 77 show? Just to kind of give a quick preview of that. Let's see here. Here we go. All right, for the NWA 77, obviously that's coming up in 2 weeks, actually. On August 16th, yeah, that's in 2 weeks. Kenzie Page takes on Natalia Markova for the NWA Women's World Championship. Alex Taylor takes on Rich Swann for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. We're going to see Alex Hammerstone in action, takes on Kerry Morton. And it looks like that's it for now from what I'm reading here. Yeah, from what I'm reading here, that I don't know if there's other matches. Wait a second. Hold on, let me go. I had to look this up because. Hold on, give me a second here. Because, like I said, I know there was other matches announced. And again, guys, we're gonna be going over this tomorrow with Joe Gailey. Or Joe Galley, sorry, my bad, Joe Galley. And definitely talk to him about this. But I want to see, I know there's a few other matches that were announced. Let me see something here. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. For the NWA World Women's Television title, Tiffany Nieves takes on Serena Vale. We also have, let's see, like I just mentioned, Hammerstone and Kerry Morton will be in action. Kenzie and Natalia will be in action. The Pope, we'll see the Pope tomorrow. Elijah, not tomorrow, on the 16th. Guys, definitely, and probably the next couple weeks, obviously, we'll probably get a lot more information on the matches for NWA 77. So you're not going to want to miss that. Obviously, we got Emergence coming up as well for TNA. So there's a lot of stuff's going on right now. Obviously, we got a lot of stuff coming up here. Obviously, like I mentioned before, we got 2 interviews tomorrow. I mentioned this at the top of the show, and I'll mention this once again if I can get to the right screen. From the aforementioned NWA, Joe Gailey will be joining us to talk a little bit about NWA 77. It happened at the Paramount on August 16th. You definitely get your tickets for that. I'll also talk about NWA being on Roku because that is actually a pretty big deal. Then at 9:30, I think it's the time. Yeah, 9:30. AJ Pan from Breed Combination will be on with us to talk about what we saw at Queen of the North and kind of look ahead towards the Grand Rumble, a tribute to Mama Pan. We'll definitely talk to him about that and so much more, guys. Then Thursday night at 9 o'clock, we'll be back here. I think, Thursday night, we're back here live for Around the BC Dub World with myself and Anthony Cole talking all things Breed Combination, talking all things of what we saw at Queen of the North, and kind of laying the groundwork as we head towards the Grand Rumble. And then eventually we got Nightmare at the Mecca coming up right behind us. So there's a lot of big things coming up with that. Again, guys, want to also give a quick shout out to friend of the show, Greek God Papadon, who tonight at Immortal Championship Wrestling is being inducted into the Immortal Championship Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's also in a match with Bill Collier, so I can't wait to see the video for that when that one finally gets released. And so much more. Guys, again, we have that coming up. Again, you have Live the Immortal. Actually, it's happening right now as we're live. Also coming up, we have, like I mentioned before, Ace returns to Teaneck, New Jersey this Friday. We have Victory Pro Wrestling returns to Bayshore this Saturday. And so much more. Guys, also, if you're in the Long Island area, tomorrow, 6 o'clock, we had Orlando on the show last week. Definitely want to promote this as much as we can. Orlando will be having his book launch for his tarot reading tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, right over in Lake Grove at the restaurant formerly called the Village Idiot. So you're not going to miss that. I think it starts at 6. I think it goes 6 to 10. So you're not going to miss that. And so much more. But guys, again, I appreciate everybody who watched the show tonight. It means a lot. Guys, again, we're not here without you guys, busting our ass every week with the show. We have a lot of stuff coming up for you guys, a lot of big things coming up, a lot of intriguing stuff coming up. God bless you. Apparently, God bless you. Apparently, the pillow on my couch now sneezes, so maybe I won't use this back anymore because it looks kind of weird. But in all seriousness, though, guys, thank you again for everybody who watched the show. Again, guys, if you missed tonight's episode, catch the replay. It'll be on our Facebook page, be on our YouTube page, and also, guys, if you cannot watch the show, but you want to listen to everything, go to Spotify, go to Apple, go to iHeart. Just search the All New ATR Network, and you can catch us there. Guys, I'm not sure what's going on with next week's show yet. I have to figure it out. But definitely stay locked into Around the Ropes on Facebook to search. Basically search for... You'll find... Well, actually, it's a highlight version, but that... Oh, and also one other thing. I totally forgot to mention this. It totally slipped my mind until right now. I want to give a shout-out. And I want to give a shout-out to a very interesting company. And what I mean by that is this. I want to pull it up and get... It's called Long Island Spirit and Sports. And I have been talking with them, and I'm going to post a flyer later today. And if you want to go to their website, again, it'll be on the flyer. And they actually have created shirts for Around the Ropes. And this would be your guys' way to support us, support what we do here. And guys, again, it would mean a lot to me if you guys were to go by. The couple of things I want to mention with this, they do ship across the country, and they do ship internationally. So even if you don't live in Long Island, you still have the ability to go check it out. I've been posting on our page right after we get off the air, but I want to make a mention of this. Again, it's Long Island Spirit and Sports Apparel. Definitely go search them up on Facebook. Great guys, and it's an honor. I mean, if I can just pull up, you know what? If you go to the website, you'll see the shirts. I mean, these shirts look freaking awesome. They really freaking do. You can buy yourself a t-shirt. You can buy yourself a hoodie. Especially, the hoodie may actually work out in a lot of people's favors because we are getting towards the fall, and fall weather just get a little cold. So you definitely want to keep yourself cool with that. On that one it says one of the sweatshirts here says it's a wrestling thing you wouldn't understand. So there's that. They come in all different sizes, youth and adult. Definitely go check them out. Again, guys, it'll be posted on our Facebook page right after we sign off here. And again, guys, it is your way to support us. I want to also make another mention here. The Around the Ropes fundraiser will be closing as of September 1st. So, like I said, definitely go check it out. It is. Hey, stranger! I haven't spoken to you in a while. What's going on, Rolly? So guys, definitely go check it out. You can get your sweatshirts, get your t-shirts, and definitely go support Around the Ropes. Because like I said, without you guys, we're not here. I'm not sitting here every week coming up with new show ideas, coming up with bringing in people for segments and all that stuff. But guys, again, we are out of here. Yes, Rolly. Like I said, I'm going to post it on our Facebook page and on our Facebook page, and our Twitter as well. Oh, that's the thing also. As of now, we are officially on. We're back where we've always been on Twitter and Instagram, but now everything is under the Around the Ropes radio show name. So definitely go check us out there. I'm going to try to post more on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go check out the store and so much more. Guys, we are out of here. In the illustrious words of Billy Joel, life's a set of hellos and goodbyes. And unfortunately, guys, it's time to say goodbye. We will catch you guys tomorrow with our live sit-down interview with Joe Gailey from the NWA and AJ Pan as well. Guys, want to make a quick like I said, guys, Tonight's show was fun, but we are out of here now. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, check out the podcast. Also, if you're listening to the podcast side, please review us, give us a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to us. Again, guys, we're out of here. Catch you guys next time.